Motor vehicle insurance rates are rising at their fastest clip, a phenomenon that the average consumer is now experiencing with their annual insurance renewals. Businesses are feeling this even more, as rapidly rising commercial auto rates are just one of the many external pressures they're facing. And then there's the human toll. Automotive accidents are the leading cause of injury and death, accounting for 22% of all workplace fatalities. So what can businesses do to manage this exposure? Let's ask the experts at SambaSafety. SambaSafety was founded in 1998 and has a rich history and leadership in the MVR monitoring and driver risk management solutions market. So let's meet Matt Scheuing, SambaSafety Chief Executive Officer, and Lacey, Chief Product Officer, who both can shed some light on these issues. Hi, Matt and Rich, and welcome to Tech Impact.
Mark, we're happy to be here today.
So let's start by talking a little bit about what you do.
So yes, SambaSafety helps businesses understand and manage their mobility risk exposure through data insights. We provide mobility risk insights on close to 60 million commercial and business drivers across both North America and Europe. We're also very pleased to serve over 15,000 businesses globally. And that really does put us in a very unique position to understand both the cause and the effect of what is ultimately impacting the risk-safety equation.
Let's start with what's causing insurance inflation. Vehicles are more complex than they used to be, leading to higher repair and replacement costs. This is lengthening the repair times and leads to increased accident severity. There's also been an increase in litigation, specifically nuclear verdicts, which are these jury awards that surpass $10 million.
So insurance inflation is just one of those aspects that are challenging businesses today. There are many additional challenges in business associated, especially with recruiting and training qualified drivers. And that's something we hear from many transportation executives that we interact with. So imagine balancing all of that, along with all the other responsibilities of running a business, compounded by high interest rates, benefit costs. All of these are things businesses are grappling with today.
Then there are companies and fleets trying to control the rising premiums by mitigating risk. And one of the ways they do this is by understanding driver behavior. Driving behavior is the leading indicator of potential crashes and claims, which is why driver monitoring is so important. We monitor drivers in many ways, ranging from evaluating driver history to observations that come from connected commercial vehicles.
And vehicle connectivity is actually an interesting topic. Many of our customers are now telling us that at first embedding telematics and cameras in their vehicles was seen as, called somewhat big brother. But with all of the distracted and aggressive driving out there, many drivers are now seeing telematics as almost a friend and advocate, as something that will help prove out circumstances behind those incidents and actually protect and shield them from liability. The other interesting behavioral shift we are also seeing is the impact of offering driver training and combining that with coaching. And so we're seeing an increased adoption of not just robust safety policies, but really backing it up with training and coaching and caring about the driver and retaining them in the process. And so based on our empirical research, even our driver training has become more consumable and more directly associated with actual driving behaviors.
Impressive. So what are some of the benefits and outcomes?
So when a company implements a comprehensive mobility risk management program, they've seen an average of 14% reduction in crashes and a 32% reduction in violations. Add training into the equation and that 32% becomes 77% reduction in violations.
And so to bring it all full circle, you implement these safety policies and these safety initiatives, you can then partner with your insurance brokers, use that data and find ways to manage risk, but also control the rising premiums by having this open exchange around data and safety information.
Wow, it sounds like you're really offering results here. So can you give us some examples?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Actually, a great story that comes to mind, it's actually one of our favorite customer stories, is Keeney Produce and Gourmet, and they're based in the Mid-Atlantic region. Like many of our customers as they've grown, they've had manual processes that have become way too difficult to manage at scale. But what really struck me here was the conversation they had with their insurance broker. As a regulated carrier, they're also tracking Department of Transportation incidents. And so they've been experiencing a pretty significant increase in uptake in their insurance premiums. And so what their broker pointed out is that their Department of Transportation scores were actually a major contributor to their increasing rates. And so they were looking for a solution to help them stay on top of their scores and understand where the opportunities were so they could improve.
Now let's hear from one of your clients and how they benefited.
Since we run on SambaSafety, We were expecting to see improvement with on-road violations and accidents. However, we were really pleasantly surprised with the violations decreasing by over 37% and accident reductions on the road as well. SambaSafety really exceeded our expectations when it came to performance on road.
Great information. So how did you guys help them get there?
So as you saw, Keeney achieved great outcomes, and they did that by implementing key parts of what we call our risk cloud. And that in turn wound up saving them approximately $200,000 a year from crashes and claims, but it also really brought down their insurance premiums.
So now let's talk about the risk cloud. What is that and how is it helpful?
So the SambaSafety Risk Cloud is a simple way of expressing something that's actually quite complex. What's unique about our solution is that we provide a holistic view of driving risk. We monitor not just DOT inspections and state MVRs, but the behavioral events coming off of those connected vehicles. We take great pride in offering our customers accurate, complete, and timely data in everything we do. Samba brings these resources together to help businesses improve their outcomes.
What an important solution. Now, before we go, what final advice do you have for our viewers?
Well, Mark, I'd start by saying risk is not random. And safety is also not an accident. It all starts with a real robust safety strategy, and then executing and managing that informed by data. So driver selection driven by data. Ongoing monitoring and observation against the safety plan driven by data. And then very importantly, coaching, training, and rewarding the right behaviors, also again, driven by data. So finally, I would take all this information, all this data and progress insight, and use to gauge how you're doing. And I would share that information with the finance team. I'd share that with insurance stakeholders. And that in turn is not going to only drive better safety outcomes, but much better business performance. So Mark, I want to thank you for having us. We've obviously shared a lot of stats. Your Tech Impact viewers can download a free copy of a lot of this information and more in our new research report at SambaSafety.com/techimpact.
Sounds awesome. Such important work. Matt and Rich, thank you for joining us on Tech Impact. And please visit them at SambaSafety.com. That's SambaSafety.com. Or log on to techimpact.tv.